Do you want to be a likable person? Do you want to improve your relationships with others? Do you want others to change their behaviours? Then all you need to know is included in the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Hi, and welcome back to UQ. Today I'm going to talk about the classic book How to Win Friends and Influence People. The book was published in 1936 and sold over 30 million copies all over the world. It is still in print 80 years after its first publication because the principles are so fundamental and are still very useful in today's world. The book teaches you 3 principles in handling people, 6 principles to make people like you, 12 principles to win people to your way of thinking, and 9 principles to change people without giving offence or causing resentment. Yes, that makes 30 principles, which is a lot, isn't it? It would be great if you could remember all of these principles. However, if it's too much for you, there is one fundamental principle that you need to remember if you want to be a likable person and manage your relationships well. That is to make the other person feel important. In my opinion, this principle is the most important and underlying principle of all other principles. So what does it mean to make the other person feel important? If you are successful in making the other person important, they will like you, they will be more cooperative and will be willing to do things for you. Why? Because it is one of the strongest desires of human beings to be appreciated and respected. That is why it's so powerful. As is mentioned in the book, psychologist William James says, "The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated." Just imagine when your boss wants you to do something. If she implies that the job could be done by anybody and it won't make any difference, would you be motivated? Would you try your best to do a great job? Probably not. But what if your boss tells you that she believes only you could do the job well? Would that make you more motivated? I'm sure it would. Okay, now we understand that we need to make the other person feel important, but how exactly can we do that? The book teaches you a lot of techniques. Some of the principles in the book are actually techniques to make the other person feel important. I would like to introduce to you the ones that I think are the most important. 1. To give honest and sincere appreciation. 2. Do not criticize, condemn, or complain. 3. Be genuinely interested in the other person. Talk about their interest and be a good listener. The first one is to give honest and sincere appreciation. I think it is the easiest and most powerful way to make the other person feel important. Dale Carnegie emphasized the importance of appreciation regularly. To illustrate the importance, the book introduces the stories about Andrew Carnegie and Charles Schwab, not the banker. Andrew Carnegie was an American industrialist who led the expansion of the American steel industry in the 19th century and became one of the richest Americans in history. One of the biggest reasons for his success was his ability to appreciate others. He praised his associates. He wrote an epitaph for himself that read, "Here lies one who knew how to get around men who were cleverer than himself." For some reason, the epitaph is not actually on his tombstone, but he tried to praise others even after he was deceased. When Andrew Carnegie formed a steel company, he appointed Charles Schwab as president. Charles Schwab became the first person in American business history to earn a salary over $1 million when a person who made $50 a week was considered well off. Why did Andrew Carnegie choose Charles Schwab as new president and pay that amount of money? It's not because he was a genius, nor he knew more about the manufacture of steel than others. Charles Schwab said he was paid that amount of money largely because of his ability to deal with people. He had many men working for him who knew more about the manufacture of steel than he did. Just like Andrew Carnegie, Schwab knew how to motivate people, and he did that by appreciation and encouragement. He knew that criticism just kills the ambition of a person. The second point is not to criticize, condemn, or complain. Dale Carnegie said in the book, "Criticism is futile because it puts a person on the defensive and usually makes him strive to justify himself. Criticism is dangerous because it wounds a person's precious pride, hurts his sense of importance, and arouses resentment. Any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain, and most fools do. But it takes character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving. Conflicts are never resolved by criticizing others." The third point is to be genuinely interested in the other person. Carnegie writes, You make more friends in 2 months by becoming genuinely interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. It is so true, but easy to forget. We all tend to try hard to get others interested in us, and we talk about ourselves. We all like to hear ourselves talk. Instead of paying attention to what other people are saying, we tend to think about what to say next. But if you want to be interesting, we need to be interested. Instead of trying to come up with witty stories or funny jokes, ask questions and try to get the other person to open up. A study by Harvard University found that people who ask more questions are better liked by their conversation partners. When people are instructed to ask more questions, they are perceived as higher in responsiveness, an interpersonal construct that captures listening, understanding, validation, and care. However, don't just keep asking questions, as it will become like an interrogation. Instead, talk in terms of the other person's interest. Try to encourage them to talk about their most passionate interest. Okay, now let's summarize what we've learned today. The most important principle is to make the other person feel important. And to do that, we need to give honest and sincere appreciation. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Be genuinely interested in the other person and be a good listener. And talk in terms of the other person's interests. So there is so much more to this book than I talked about today. So if you're interested, I recommend that you read the book. If you like this video, please subscribe to this channel for more videos. Thank you for watching.